As a leading wealth management firm, LPL is at the forefront of several industry trends, and now M&A. I'm joined by Jared Fingeret, Senior Vice President of LPL Capital Partners. Jared, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's dive right into it. This is a relatively newer initiative for LPL.
Yes.
Why did they ultimately get into the business of acquiring advisory practices?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's a question that we naturally got asked when we started doing this. LPL's leadership observed the same trends that a lot of us are observing, that advisors are getting older, a lot of them don't have succession plans. But as we looked at the market for advisors to actually monetize what is their largest personal asset, a lot of those models seemed like they looked and felt similar to each other. And so we felt we could come at this from a unique perspective as like the leading independent firm and try to offer a solution that solved for Gen 1, but also tried to solve for the next generation of independent advisors.
So how does LPL differ from the other offerings that are on the market today?
Yeah, I think three key ways that we're different. So number one, I think LPL is one of the few, if not the only, publicly traded firm that's out in the marketplace buying advisors' practices. And that's a key difference because we have a longer term outlook. We're not held to 3 to 5 year liquidity event timelines. We're not driven by those types of results. So that's number one. Number two, LPL is known as the brand that backs independent advisors, right? You don't really know LPL as a retail brand, and so to that end, we don't want to conform anyone's identity, brand, culture to LPL, and I think that's very different from some of our private equity competitors who are looking to build a uniform model, and we think the power of independence is really important to this model too. Three, it's the power of thinking about the next generation of independent advisors. And so our model was very deliberately built to be a bridge from generation one that's having their liquidity event to generation two that should have the same opportunities that that advisor had to build a business, to extract economics from that business, to have their own monetization event potentially. I think those are really three key differences with the rest of the marketplace.
And what has the reception been since this has all started?
Yeah, so we started 2.5 years ago naturally with our own advisor population within LPL, and it resonated really well, again, because it's a different story from what everyone else is saying. And you come to conferences, you listen to folks speak, and I think a lot of people have a compelling value proposition that they've built and they've done a lot of acquisitions, but most folks aren't thinking about what happens to the next generation, right? And so inside of LPL, with the LPL's advisors, it resonated really, really well. And now we've started talking to advisors that are not yet at LPL, that are at other firms, and they're also pretty responsive in a really positive way.
And what has you most excited about it?
I think what I'm most excited about, again, is the forward-thinking nature of what we're doing. So we're not just solving for today, we're not just solving one industry problem. It feels like we're solving two at once, and we're thinking 10, 15, 20 years down the road about how to position the next generation of folks who deliver wealth management advice and put them in a position to have successful careers, monetization events, really get the most out of the business they can. That's not putting them in a box the way some other models do.
Well, congratulations on the early success of this program. Looking forward to following this in the future, Jared.
Yes.
Appreciate your insights.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Wealthmanagement.com, I'm Shannon Rosic.